I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Vacaville Parks and Recreation Commission. Today is August 7th, 2024, and the time is 6 p.m. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Berman? Here. Commissioner Fraser? Oh. Roll call. Commissioner Fraser? Here.
Oh, here, yeah.
Commissioner McMahon?
Here.
Commissioner Shea? Here. Commissioner Vasquez? Here. Vice Chair Gutierrez? Here. Chair Oz?
Here. Next, now would everyone please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So next is approval of the agenda. I understand we have one change to the agenda.
We do, Chair. Thank you. Under item 11, report to the park planner, we have one small change. The park planner updates will be provided by Nemo Gonzalez, our senior park planner, rather than Hugh Hesterman. And that's the only change we have for you tonight.
Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda with the one amendment? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next to approval of the minutes of our meeting on June 5th, 2024. Does anybody have any revisions to the minutes? Everybody had an opportunity to review? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 5th, 2024 meeting?
Motion. Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? So there is, let me restate that. So there's 3 abstainings.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we should have.
Approve, like reading through the minutes or actually physically being here?
If you were absent from the meeting, but you've had an opportunity to review the meeting since and the minutes, you can vote. If you haven't had an opportunity to review the meeting following your absence, then I would recommend that you abstain.
Okay. So we have 5, if I get that right, 6 approve and 1 abstain. Great. Next, we'll move to communications. Staff, have we received any written communications for the commission tonight?
No correspondence tonight, Chair.
Great, thank you. Next are presentations. Interim Director Megar Smith, would you like to introduce our presentation for this evening?
Thank you, Chair. Tonight, we have a presentation on our Teens and Adaptive Recreation Program, and presenting tonight will be our Recreation Coordinator, El Ceballos Robles, to present the item for you.
There we go. And commissioners, it's nice to meet you. My name is El Ceballos Robles, and I am the Adaptive Rec and Teens Coordinator. And so I'll be presenting on both programs tonight. Starting with our teens. Teen programming is designed with our priorities of our local teens in mind. We aim to foster skill development, growth, creative self-expression, and fun for all our teens. The teen program offers a wide range of classes designed to engage youth within the community and in a safe environment. I'm pleased to share the successes of the last year, starting with our TAG program, which is their teen advisory group. It is a leadership group for kids in grades 7 through 12, and they also play an important role in designing and creating programs for our teens. They also volunteer for citywide programs. And this past year, we saw increased membership and volunteerism with 10 members volunteering over 7 different citywide events. They also saw success in their book club that they designed. It successfully launched with consistent registrations. Here are some photos of our TAG members over the past year at different events. So Bunnies and Bonnets, Bunny Breakfast, and Halloween. One of the highlights of our teen program is VacaCon, which is our anime pop culture convention. And it saw significant improvements this year, building off the success of last year's event. This is the first year that we expanded to a 2-day format to better accommodate more participants and more vendors. And we also utilized the entire Ulatis campus, including the gardens, the library, and even additional off-site parking. And this year, we aim to bring really exciting talent from this comic convention pop culture world. And so to achieve this, we hired 7 celebrities, including actors RJ Mitty and Corey Feldman, as well as voice actors, film producers, and directors. We also brought a lot of new attractions, such as a train ride, car show, and iHoshi Cafe performances. And over the 2 days, VacaCon saw 2,500 attendees. Here are some photos of the cosplay contest. Our program is not without challenges, of course. Over the past year, inconsistent staffing has led to some cancellations. Prior to me starting in January of this year, we heavily leaned on part-time staff. So as you can imagine, it posed some challenges for programming. Another couple challenges that we face within the program is that teens tend to not register beforehand. It's usually parents who are seeking activities for their teens. And so if a teen is interested in something, they will show up without registering beforehand. So that kind of poses a challenge for program planning. And another challenge that we face and a common concern that we hear within the community is there's not a lot of things for teens to do, although we do provide a wide range of activities. So a current project that we're working on is renovations to our Vacaville portable. It's located at the middle school, and so we're hoping that the visibility of being near the middle school will inform our community of what we have to offer, as well as increasing our registrations. So now looking forward for our teens program, I'm already starting our VacaCon planning. So we are learning so much each year that we grow this event. And so I'm looking forward to applying those lessons to better streamline our operations and our efficiency. Now with the full-time coordinator in place, we can introduce new initiatives. And one really exciting initiative that I'm currently in the process of working out with Solano County's Office of Education and Travis Credit Union is our series called Navigate, which is a 5-week series covering essential topics for young people transitioning to adulthood. And additionally, we're gearing up to launch the Park and Rec's Leaders in Training program, which is our department's summer internship program. And we're hoping to launch that spring of next year. Any questions, comments? Okay.
Well, are there any commissioner questions or comments?
Okay, now moving on to our adaptive recreation program.
Vice Chair Gutierrez.
Yes, just a really quick question. I know one of the challenges that you brought up is the teens and not getting the participation, or them not like re-registering and hearing. I know I said it when I was a teenager here, and I hear too that there's not enough things for teenagers to do. Do we have any programs that are free for teens, similar to like the bunnies and bonnets, where the younger kids can come out and get candy and things like that? Are there? I'm wondering if costs might also be a little bit of an issue, and do we have any of those community events for teens to show up? Because I think some of the things that we have for teens are more like the VacaCon, which costs money, or some of the classes, which also cost money. But do we have any of those like community events that are geared for the teens?
That are free.
That are free.
Well, currently we don't have any that are free. Our book club is free, so that is one of the programs that we're offering that is free, but that is a consideration that we can take in for the new season, is what we can offer for teens that is really affordable.
I really like the idea too about the visibility at Vacaville. I think that would make a difference.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's fun to see the transformation of the portable happen.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Alrighty, so with our adaptive recreation, sorry about that.
Thank you for the presentation. I was just curious, right, because staffing it's the #1 conversation in most industries now, right?
Yeah.
What is there a certain area within the teen rec specific department that is most impacted by staffing? Is it just kind of across the board like it is everywhere else? Are you having like certain programs that are like, more consistently being canceled than others?
I would say, as far as my experience since I started in January, it would be the weekly classes that we offer that is a bit more challenging. VacaCon, it allows us to plan in the future, right? So we have a little bit more time of planning, but it's the weekly when we don't have staff to facilitate a evening, like 6 o'clock class. That's when we face that major challenge.
Thank you.
One more question, Commissioner Vasquez.
Hi, Al. Thank you so much for the presentation. As someone who does have a teenager right now, I feel like I'm getting targeted messages. I don't know if that's through the registration system, but definitely I've seen kind of the very specific emails for teens, like the Teen Swim and the different activities happening this summer. So I appreciate that, because then it prompts me to be like, hey, kid, do you want to get off of gaming and go swim and go outside? And so that's really helpful. I think also, I don't know if there's a way, and I haven't actually looked at this in the registration system or thought about it while I'm in the actual registration system, but maybe is there a way to include like their cell phone numbers? Like, could you do targeted text messages or marketing specifically to the teens, because they do, you know, as they get into high school, start
Right.
to have their own lives. And, you know, sometimes it's like ships passing in the night. And so it's like if they get their own messages about, hey, this event is happening, you know, register here, maybe they could do that on their own. And then I think sort of just piggybacking off of what Commissioner Gutierrez is saying about like free events, maybe considering doing like, I don't know, 20 free tickets to VacaCon and offering it to teens, you know, 13 to 17 or something like that, to maybe kind of inspire kids to come to the event, but also make it more accessible to folks who maybe can't pay the registration fees. But maybe that's something to consider, to also get more kids to come out to the events and kind of meet the needs of having free events too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great suggestion about something I could look into in the back end for Civic Rec of, you know, prompting, does your teen have a phone number that you give permission for us to reach out to them? And that's a great idea. For VacaCon specifically, we do offer tickets for, I believe the ages are 11 to 17 at a discounted teen price. So we do offer that, but thank you for the suggestions.
Great. Bill, I think we have one more speaker. So, Commissioner Frazier.
Just real quick. Hey, it's great that you have that collaboration with Solano County Office of Ed. Have you had any kind of, you know, collaborative time with Vacaville, with the school district at all, or?
That is currently in the process right now. My support staff, luckily we have some staff right now who's able to assist me with that. And we've started our outreach to local schools in Vacaville to start building that relationship with them. And we've had some response so far of schools that are interested in promoting our activities.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bill, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So our adaptive recreation program was created to meet the needs of individuals with disabilities. By focusing rather on ability than disability, we foster an environment of inclusion and acceptance. The AR program aims to eliminate barriers, provide accommodations, and promote independence and confidence. Utilizing community resources, individuals with disabilities receive opportunities for recreation, skill development, and integration into the community. As you may know, this program used to go by the name of Therapeutic Recreation, but in September of last year, the department held a focus group to brainstorm ideas of how to rebrand the program. The group agreed that the name Therapeutic Rec didn't really convey the services that we offer, and so they wanted to find a name that better reflected the program's ability to be flexible and adapt to the needs of people with disabilities. So they landed on the name of Adaptive Recreation. And also during this focus group, participants identified cost as a barrier to accessing recreation. And so in response to this, an affordable membership model was created. And this year of March, the membership model was launched to better align with the program's mission and as a strategy to prevent activity cancellations. Participants can choose a monthly option for $20 or a yearly for $120. Memberships are available for all ages, and they guarantee a minimum of 5 age-appropriate activities a month. Now that a new direction has been planned, we created a marketing campaign and we launched it to the community to get the word out. I reached out to our community, and 3 of our participants have agreed to be the new faces of our program. As you can see a couple of them here on our banners that we've posted around the town. We created banners. I've asked our customer service reps that work at the counter at our community centers to wear shirts promoting our program. And soon to come, bus and bus shelter ads are going to be around town with these ads on them. And so keep an eye out. They'll be running at the end of the month. And additionally, we created a great video highlighting the program and also the new membership model. So here that is right here. Thank you.
My oldest son was diagnosed with autism, and we recently moved to the area just a few years ago, and we're looking for activities for him to do and be involved in and meet other friends his age. And I had found the Vacaville Parks and Rec Adaptive Recreation Program online.
Adaptive recreation is programming for all in the community, including individuals in the community with special needs and autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. We will accommodate all the classes and make sure everybody is included. A full program where participants are sitting there communicating with each other, sharing their experiences in the community, having fun, making connections where they can share with one another, basically being a support system with each other.
When he's getting the opportunities to meet new friends and learn new forms of art, it makes him excited.
We have our Spring Fling dance for individuals with disabilities. Of course, everybody is welcomed at our events. It's always great to see all the different levels of capabilities at our events.
There's a play area, the music, the dance floor.
We offer different sensory toys throughout the event to be able to ensure that everybody has some fidgets to play with to de-stimulate everything throughout the day. On top of that, everybody is able to speak with other community members within their own caregivers, and it's really nice for all of them to be able to make more friends.
Turns out today I've made a new friend named Madison.
So he makes friends and he enjoys it. In this kind of environment, you don't have to explain the behavior to anybody or be self-conscious about innate behaviors.
We offer classes available for everybody in the community, starting from 6 months old all the way up to 99. Anyone can come, and we do separate some of our programs to be able to allow the adults to be with the adults, the teens to be with teens, and the youth to be with youth. Our therapeutic creativity class is something where we meet up once a month. We have different themed crafts that we do together, normally to be themed around a holiday for the month or the season, and we all join together and we use our motor skills and our hands to get in and feel the sensory and the textures, paint and get creative, and really just bounce off one another, have the social setting. We have our toddler sensory exploration, our kids sensory exploration, and we also have our summer sensory summer camp. It allows the individuals to go in there, play around, and see what their actual sensory needs are. Our membership model is something that we're offering to all the participants to be able to make sure that they're getting programs at a lower rate, and they can go to at least minimum of 5 classes per month by just paying one flat fee. People are still able to sign up for classes even if they are not enrolled in our membership model.
It's a fun, welcoming place. Our children will feel comfortable amongst their peers. The staff is all really friendly, and there are fun things to do.
Your kids will enjoy it. It's a welcoming environment. Give it a shot.
You know, he absolutely wants to come back. Like, every time we come, he asks when the next event is.
Yes, I think this is gonna go viral.
Yeah, so that video was shot over our spring fling dance from earlier this year and our sensory camp from last year. Moving on, some of the challenges that we face within our program, similar to our teens program, we faced the challenge of the absence of a full-time coordinator. But we also had the additional challenges of not receiving enough candidates with experience working with people with disabilities. This inconsistent staffing led to session cancellations, paused community outings, and distrust and, decreased participation and distrust from the community. The program has been experiencing slow growth post-COVID, but now with a full-time coordinator, regular communication via social media, email newsletters, and increased engagement with our local advocacy and disability support groups has really helped increase participation and help rebuild that positive rapport again. So now we're looking forward in our program, and the upcoming season reintroduces postponed events such as our outings, and it brings new initiatives. In the fall, we see returns of outings to the pumpkin patch, movie matinees, and trips to the ice rink. We're introducing new courses such as an independent living skills class and a gross motor movement class for children. And I'm really eager to see all the changes and I'm eager to see the significant changes to the program and to see the benefits of our rebranding. Thank you. Any questions?
Questions? Commissioner Shea.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm so excited to see the growth and progress. I was at the focus group last fall, and I really appreciate seeing that you guys are differentiating for younger clients versus like older people, because that was like something that I know that you guys received a lot of feedback about. And I think it's a great program. A couple questions. So I know that you guys have been doing a ton of outreach with like the kind of grassroots local groups, which is huge, like Parents Empowering Parents. And I've seen on there, they're like rallying each other to attend the events and stuff. Did you guys get vendorized with North Bay yet? Is it still working on it?
I think that's something that they're currently working. I can get you the answer.
Yeah, it's a long, tedious process. That's huge, but it also could be, I feel like there's a really big untapped market as well with like disabled adults in the community, because there are a ton of care homes where they are placed, like ICF-DDH facilities and community care homes. And, you know, partnering with North Bay Regional, they can push the word out to those homes, or partnering with the day programs too, like Pace, Dungarvan, Crossroads, and like just giving their clients flyers that they take back to their care homes or facilities, because those house managers are always looking for events to take them to. They have budgets for that, and there usually isn't anything, right? There's just not a lot in the community. So that's another way too to like get, you know, a steady stream of people like that are coming to the events, especially the dance. When I saw the spring fling, I was like, I know like 3 houses right now that would come like party their behinds off there and dance all night long. So that's just like one avenue I think you guys could probably partner with too, and like getting in with North Bay Regional and getting them to put all the word out about your programs to their clients and getting vendorized there. Slow. But thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Shea. Any other comments? Great. Thank you, Elle, for your presentation.
Thank you guys. Have a great evening.
So next on the agenda is business from the floor. This is a time to address the commission on issues that are not on tonight's agenda and that are within the commission's subject matter jurisdiction. There's a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. Does anyone wish to address the commission tonight? Seeing none, I will close business from the floor. Let's see, next is agenda item 8A. Interim Director Megar Smith, would you please introduce this item?
Sure, thank you, Chair. This next item is a donation to the Public Art Collection. It is, the piece is The Labyrinthine Heart by Wendy Ackrell, and we have Recreation Manager Melody Land here to present the item for you.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners. As our Interim Director mentioned, I'm going to be presenting the Labyrinthine Heart, a public art sculpture donation. This piece, as mentioned, was created by Wendy Ackrell. She's a San Francisco-based artist. It's one of 31 different hearts curated and auctioned during the Hearts in San Francisco event that took place in 2023. This piece was acquired by Genentech, and they are wanting to donate it to the city. So currently located in Union Square, it was submitted to the Arts Advisory Committee for to become part of the public art collection. They accepted that piece on July 17th, when they recommended the acceptance of the piece. So that is why it is here with you this evening. It's valued at over $5,000. And in those cases, we seek approval from the commission and then the council. So if you choose to recommend it tonight, it will go on to city council for final approval. To give you a sense of what it looks like, this is kind of its final moments in studio. Front and back, they look very similar, but they are different. And then here it is when it was installed in Union Square. We have been exploring some options. It's part of the Arts Advisory Committee's purview to recommend locations. They came up with kind of 10 plus. Some were very general suggestions. Myself have and some staff have been working with Public Works and our traffic engineers, and we've kind of narrowed it down. We're looking at a location downtown near the placemaking signage that leads you in on Davis Street. We're not solid on that yet. We're going to have some more meetings kind of on site, but just to give you an idea where it's gearing to head. And just to give you all a sense on that, I'm just going to switch gears here. So for those, I'm sure you all know, but Catherine and Davis Street is located right here, just down the way. And if you look here, here's a street view. So this would be the view coming in, and we're exploring options of kind of placing it possibly on this corner or within the lot somewhere, or this one here. And one of these public lots are adjacent. So just kind of exploring those options. In terms of feasibility, that was really what it came down to. So I'm happy to answer any questions. The recommendation this evening is that by simple motion, the commission recommend that the city council accept the labyrinthine heart into the City of Vacaville's public art collection.
Great, thank you. I'd like to just open the floor to public for comments on this agenda item. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Does anybody wish to address the commission on this particular item? Seeing none, I now turn to the commission for any questions or comments.
If you come up to this. Yeah.
Excuse me, Chair Oz,
Yes.
to reopen public
Yeah, let me. I'll first, excuse me, let me please just I'll reopen public comment. You have 3 minutes, and please introduce yourself, and thank you.
Seconds. There recently was an art piece that was installed downtown, and I think this is a beautiful piece of art that Genentech has offered the city of Vacaville. I think it would be great to install that like in a lower part of Main Street a little bit, maybe towards Journey Downtown, something to activate the lower end, and to kind of, there's already an art piece that's right there. It's new, it's beautiful, and I think that something a little bit lower towards some of those businesses that don't get necessarily as much exposure or love. I think something like moving it down there might be something that's a great option. So that's it, my 30-second formality and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you for hearing me.
Turn to Commissioner Vasquez.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Do I have to follow the timer?
I know, you got 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Chair Oz, you want to close public comment again?
Yes, so we'll close public comment, and I'll turn to Commissioner Vasquez. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Oz. Thank you, Kai, for bringing up actually the other art piece that's in downtown Vacaville that was just installed. This art piece is beautiful. Love it. It's amazing. I can't wait to see where it ends up in town, and that is very gracious of Genentech to offer it to Vacaville. But I do have a question, I guess, more about process, like why this one is coming forward, but the other one in downtown didn't come forward to the commission, and maybe what that difference is, because, and I mean, it did also say on the Arts Advisory agenda that that one was a temporary installation. So is that one not permanently staying there? And is that also in consideration when thinking about the location of this one?
So it was in consideration. It really came down to feasibility and some of the recommendations in terms of trying to avoid any vandalism and also traffic control. And so in terms of, there was quite a long list that the Arts Advisory Committee supplied, and we went through it. And then to answer your other question, It's the value of the piece. So the Art in Public Places policy states that any art piece that is valued at $5,000 or less can be recommended from the Arts Advisory Committee directly to the city manager, and that's where a decision can be made, or it's really within the city manager's purview to simply accept something. So time was of the essence with that piece that's currently in place, Touch the Sky, by Martin Taylor, and so the city moved swiftly. We tried to get things going there, and so, yeah. But this piece is valued higher than that at around $8,000 or $9,000. So that is why it's coming to this commission and then the city council.
If I can just add in quickly related to Touch the Sky on the School Street Bridge, we don't actually own that piece. It is a temporary installation. It's kind of on loan to us for approximately a little bit less than a year. So it'll be here through June of 2025. So we don't own the piece. We didn't bring it into the public art collection. So it's a little bit of a different situation.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. I don't think I have any more questions, but thank you. It's beautiful. I'm excited. Lots of photos.
Thank you, Commissioner Bruman.
Yeah. Thank you for Kyle for coming up today and speaking. Yeah, the other part of it, how many other locations you said you had that you were thinking about?
It was 10 plus, but a lot of them were fairly general in terms of looking at medians, different park options. And so just in terms of feasibility for maintenance, we do have, a healthy but limited budget for that. And that's something we really aim to consider is where is this thing going to also be safe? Where is this piece going to be safe?
Exactly. Yeah, and it would be nice to have it further down on Main Street to where, we can collaborate with a lot of the businesses. Because there's been a lot of buzz down there because I always walk through there. Where are they going to put that other piece of art? They want to know whether they're included in it or not. But that's something that we should take consideration and see if there's a spot over there in that area.
I will definitely throw it.
We could possibly look into. But other than that, that's basically all I got to say. It is beautiful.
We'll absolutely look into it.
Okay.
Vice Chair Gutierrez.
I don't want to be a dead horse. Thank you, Kaya, for bringing that up. I do think it's important that we do activate that other side of Main Street. The buzz does kind of fall off once you get past Town Square. But with deciding where the location of this piece would go, what would that process look like? Would it come back to us? Would it go before Arts Advisory? Would it go before Commission, or someone's going to make that decision and that's where it's going to be?
The Arts Advisory Committee suggests locations, and so that's really where the process ends in terms of any commissioner body. We then take it to staff level for feasibility.
Thank you.
And I have one question, and I might have missed it in the presentation, but is there going to be an informative plaque to tell a little bit about a story about the piece?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It will. Yeah, we'll have the appropriate information about the artist and the donation, time of donation, that sort of thing.
Wonderful. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Is there a motion on this item?
That recommend that the City Council accept Labyrinth Heart into City of Vacaville's public art collection.
Second.
Great. I have a motion by Commissioner Shea and a second by Vice Chair Gutierrez that the Park and Recreation Commission recommend that the City Council accept the Labyrinth Heart into the City of Vacaville public arts collection. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next are committee reports. We'll first hear a report from Commissioner Shea on the Play for All Committee.
Thank you. I don't have my notes this evening. I came straight from work, but I do want to put on everybody's radar. The Rotary Club, Vacaville Rotary Club, donated a labyrinth to the park, and they have finished installing it. It is a labyrinth, like a maze, for people to follow for like sensory needs. And in the middle of the labyrinth is like a beautiful like medallion or plaque, I guess you would call it. That's being installed tomorrow, and they have a dedication ceremony at the park at 12 noon. So if anybody can make it out there for that, to see the new labyrinth at the park. And other than that, the committee is planning the first big fundraiser in several years. And it's, the theme is like a day at the park. It's picnic style. I believe the final date is October 5th, and they're heavily planning for that. In late afternoon at the park. So the word is out, and there's been an announcement. They'll really start pushing media and promoting that event soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Any questions or comments for Commissioner Shea? Hearing none, we'll move to Committee Report 9B, Vacaville Arts, Cultural and Culture Alliance. Commissioner Bruman.
Yes, we had our first meeting. It was pretty awesome. Well attended. Actually, they had to move to the Hyatt House because there's so many people and downtown businesses there are part of this. There was a big brainstorming, going through a lot of things because it's been a while since we met. And Kaya is here from Vacaville, which she was part of the making this meeting happen. But a lot of things came out of it. Everybody's energized and wants to get things going. They're brainstorming the calendar for 2025. They got a lot of things coming. But one thing that did fall on my lap for this is, I guess I'm going to feel a little bit Commissioner McMahon down at the other end, is the shade covering at Andrews Park to the amphitheater. They really are asking for that shade up there so they can utilize that area up by the kid zone up on top. They'd like to see some of that shading like they have down on Town Square so they can utilize that, that area. And if that would happen, that would make them very happy. I was going to invite them all today, but I just said we didn't have enough chairs. But at the same time, maybe the next one I will. But other than that, that's all we got. Unless Commissioner McMahon has something to add on that.
Great.
No, thank you very much for bringing that up. We've talked about that shade structure for quite some time. It's been brought up to the commission over the past year or so. So it comes down to, obviously, like anything here, money. And that's probably our biggest holdup. So this sail shades, I think we were talking about, would work really well down there. Things to consider is obviously we don't want to obstruct views to the stage and whatnot, so some planning would go into that. But I think it's overdue, and if we can make that happen, obviously let's make that happen. And you know, it would only benefit the city as a whole and the Creek Walk concert series, because it does get awful warm down there during the summer. So it's a great idea, and let's work on that, and hopefully we can get that in the works.
Thank you, Commissioner McMahon. Any other commissioner questions or comments? Sure do. Commissioner Vasquez.
I guess I have a question for staff. How would the commission go about doing that? Do we ask staff to maybe look into what the costs are for that, funding sources? Because, you know, we have Commissioner McMahon has been saying this for years. And as someone who's part of another organization that hosts the event at Andrews Park, that the heat and the sun just beats on you on this like huge cement slab. And so it would be great to have sail shades on both sides, but I feel like we keep talking about it, and if we don't like make a motion or ask for something to happen, nothing will move in motion. And what we can do to even press on city council, because it is such a highly used space, so.
That's a great question, and we do have a kind of a project concept in process. Nemo, do you want to come down and talk a little bit about it? because we have heard you and Nemo's been planning. We do have a funding gap, but he can talk more about it.
We've got the actual shades for extra selected. We've got a plan. We've spoken to contractors. We've got costs. The one thing we don't have is the money. We have an existing CIP account with some of the money, but we're probably about $150,000 or $200,000 short. So it's an existing account. We have a design. We're ready to execute the minute that we can secure some funding. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other commissioner questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move to the Vacaville Performing Arts Theater Show Selection Committee, which I am on. We have not finalized the fiscal year 2024-25 lineup yet, but we're very close. Just wanted to go through some of the shows that we have in that are coming up this fall and then a couple next spring. So we have Jimmy Vaughn and the Tilt-A-Whirl Band that was what has been rescheduled to October 6th. And then Nick Carter, Who Am I Tour is Sunday, October 20th. And then Sean Calvin and KT Tunstall is Saturday, November 9th. And then a new addition, and I think the tickets are going to be released here this month, or if they haven't been already, but country singer Lyle Lovett and his acoustic group will be performing Thursday, February 27th. And I think just a personal preference, I really love when the acoustical performances just bring a whole different element than the full band, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we also just recently added our first true crime podcast, right? It's our first. And it's the Serial Killers with Dr. Scott Bond, and that'll be Friday, February 28th. And again, tickets either are on sale or are going to go on sale here very, very soon. But just a little description of that. The Serial Killers with Dr. Scott Bond provides a 90-minute immersive experience where Dr. Bond shares shocking tales from his encounters with serial killers and delves into the psychological and behavioral pathology of these notorious criminals. So quite interesting. And then lastly, to round out our different shows, we have on April 10th, we have the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. So we have quite we're quite proud of this selection, quite a breadth of offering for our community. So with that, are there any commissioner questions or comments on that? Great. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 10, reports of the park manager. Wallace. Evening, Wallace.
Good evening, Chair, Commissioners. Hope you all had having a nice summer so far with the break that we had. So
it's not over yet. Don't end it too quick.
That's true. I could use a break from the heat though, so that wouldn't be bad. I just have a couple things for you tonight. We have completed there was a two-part fitness course installation. I presented to you at the last meeting the Southwood Park fitness course rehabilitation, and in the meantime, the Hawkins fitness course rehabilitation has been completed also. So I live over by this park, and I take my grandson there all the time, and I noticed that the equipment's getting used a lot. So it's a very satisfying thing to have happen. And then since we didn't meet in July, I was just this is just a photo of, we had some painting done for the, out at Keating Park prior to the Pony World Series. And everything looked fantastic out there for the event. At least we thought so. So, and we heard that it was well attended and that went off very well. So we're glad to hear that. So that's all I had for you tonight. Any questions?
Thank you, Wallace. Any questions for Wallace?
Have a good evening.
Commissioner Vasquez.
Sorry.
You're getting up that easy.
Yeah, sorry, Wallace. Well, and I don't know if this is really for you, but also the team, in anticipation of fall soccer and fall baseball and parking at Centennial, are we thinking about how to manage that situation? Last year it was pretty crazy and I reported how bad it was. And then there was like A-frames out for a while and then the soccer league was helping also kind of traffic control, but it kind of waned towards the end of the season, which is actually probably more important than the beginning of the season because baseball starts a little bit later than soccer. But it's just wild out there and anything that we can do. I think my biggest concern when I have been out there, my son is playing both soccer and baseball. And so when we have been out there, it's chaos and people are parking all along the borders. There's literally only one way in and out. If an emergency vehicle had to get in for an emergency, there's like hundreds of people over at the soccer fields. There's like 12 games playing simultaneously. So you multiply that times 7 to 8 kids per team, times 1 to 2 parents or family members and grandparents. I mean, there's hundreds of people out there. We don't need, I don't think we should wait for an emergency to happen before we actually take action. And so I don't know if we could think about maybe permanent signage instead of, because I think it was your team, Wallace, that was going out there and putting the A-frames out. And no, your team, okay. Well, but maybe this is your team in thinking about permanent signage that says no parking along those boulders, because it's bad. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just putting it out there because it's like, it can be, it's a huge liability, I think, for the city to take on and not take action. And I feel like I've reported it multiple seasons now.
Yep. So we have permanent signage out there now that says no parking, and it's all along the boulder areas.
Nice.
So what that will do is allow our park rangers to actually issue citations.
Nice.
Once the season starts and people are making bad decisions.
Yeah.
So once we start the citation process, we're hopeful that that will help quell some of the issues.
Yeah.
Because people will see that there are consequences,
Yeah.
which that's not what there was before. So we're also in talks with the league right now as they're getting ready to activate the fall season. So we're trying to be proactive about having those conversations and how we address those issues when they come up.
Yeah, and something else that I had mentioned to Reggie, and I don't know, he was sailing off into retirement, and I don't know if it ever got around to others, but maybe thinking about out by where the baseball league has their connex and putting more infield dirt or gravel there for additional parking. But and I feel like every time we talk about Centennial, I'm like the only one harping on parking because there needs to be more parking if we're gonna have multiple leagues and multiple games happening on Saturdays, because it's pretty wild. So, but I don't know. That's something I think also to consider is just in general expanding the parking out there.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. It is always a priority for us. I think what it comes down to is the balance of how many improvements, what do we want to do, how far do we want to go now with that master plan in place and future developments. So it's kind of that balancing act, but trust us, it is definitely a priority for us and it is being talked about.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vasquez. Commissioner Shea.
speaking of parking out there and the master plan and phasing, and this might be more for Nemo than you, Wallace, but because yes, citations, right, and giving consequences for, not making good choices will do something, but people are still going to want to go and they're still going to park wherever they can find parking. So there does need to be alternative parking. I can't remember from the master plan in phase 1, was there parking expansion included in that? And could that be, I think that was all approved, right? But was there any parking near there in that first phase?
Also, we're getting a little bit off topic. It's not an agendized item, so we might need to bring it in.
Why don't we defer that to the next?
Yeah, we can always bring it back as a future agenda item if the commission would like.
Anything else, Commissioner Shea? Nope. Great, seeing none, thank you. Thank you, Wallace. So we will move on to reports of the park planner, Nemo Gonzalez. You have 2 items. So the first item is the L Park Phase 3 Master Plan Update.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners. It's great to see you all. It feels like it's been a while. Before I get started on that, I do sort of want to address that the environmental document is being finalized for Centennial. It's being managed by Hugh, so off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to provide an accurate answer anyway. I'd have to go back and check. In terms of the phasing, if I remember correctly, the Landify stuff was happening first, but at a subsequent meeting, we'll agendize it and we'll bring it back to you. I've got 2 items, and I'm going to just, if it's okay with you all, I'm going to sort of read through all of the items because it's several sort of different facilities and parks, and I'll have a period at the end where I'll open up for questions or comments. The first item I have for you tonight is an update on Owl Park. There's been a minor change to the master plan. Originally, it included bocce ball courts, but in an effort to accommodate additional pickleball courts, which we've had a lot of advocates for that, we've removed a couple of the bocce courts that were previously approved and replaced them with 2 additional pickleball courts. And so you see the plan on the left is what was previously approved. The plan on the right is the current version. Phase 2 is underway right now. And sort of in order to mitigate some of that, we did address it by adding bocce courts at Magnolia Phase 2, which is also currently under construction. Moving right along, so this is a question that the commission's had quite a bit over the years. We have hired a consultant for Unity Meadows Park, and we're under contract with them, and we're going to be scheduling a survey and having a kickoff for the master plan effort that will come to the commission in a subsequent meeting. We have started the Lagoon Valley Dog Park and Archery construction projects. They're set to begin sort of in the middle of this month. We've put signage up indicating that the facilities will be shut down. We've got QR codes to the website that's got additional information, including alternative locations for the dog park now that Owl Park has opened up. And we have 2 dog parks in addition to this one that will be closed for the next 3 months. And unrelated to this, these 2 projects, we've got some construction happening out at just immediately outside of Lagoon Valley Park. We've got some underground services that are being installed. Rivera Road has been shut down, and in the next couple of months, they're going to be shutting down the entrance to Lagoon Valley Park, and they're going to be rerouting traffic down Rivera once that opens up to the south gate to allow for park users to access the park that way. And we'll have some signage up. My understanding is that they are going to maintain 1 lane open to provide access to Peña Adobe, but the traffic will be shut down from that point on into the park. So anybody who's looking to access Lagoon Valley Park will have to go route over through Rivera through the south gate. And I've got some pretty exciting news. I know we've been talking about this for quite a while. I feel like Elizabeth and Jen have been working on this for years. I've only been working on it for a few months, but we've got two shade structure projects at Centennial and Arlington that are currently being installed. They actually should be finalized here in the next week or so. My understanding is that at least at Centennial, they're going vertical tomorrow, so the structure will actually be delivered and the posts will be installed. The footing's already in. I sent these to interim director Megger Smith, and she said, "Do you even know what you're looking at here?" Because she couldn't tell, but this is under construction, I promise.
I had full faith in Nemo, by the way.
Some additional parks that we've awarded the bids to, and construction is set to start in mid-September, is Corderos and Nash Meso Phase 2. So those are moving forward. The county currently has a project at the library, and they're starting this month, and it's set to go about a year. So it's anticipated to go all the way through August of 2025. And Melody and I will be sort of joining them tomorrow to take a tour of the library to understand the impacts to the Ulatis Community Center and try to mitigate some of the issues related to construction, including some of the parking being unavailable for staging for the construction project. If we have more information on that, if they provide that tomorrow, we'll bring it to a subsequent meeting to just inform you all. Another project that's under construction is Magnolia Phase 2. I've got no additional information other than it has begun. And this is a project that's being led by the developer, and so that's why we don't have a lot of information on it. And for those of you who can't attend tomorrow, I did visit Play for All today to check out the labyrinth, and this is what it looks like. There's an official ribbon cutting tomorrow, as Commissioner Shea had indicated, and this is it. And that concludes my report. Any questions, comments?
Yes. Questions or comments from the commission? I do have one. If you could go back to your slide on Owl Park, could you just orient us to where the pickleball courts were going to be? I couldn't quite. Are they the purple?
Yeah, I apologize about that. We didn't revise the illustrative master plan, so it didn't have color. I tried my best to color code it when I was preparing the presentation, but the pickleball courts are the blue on the bottom right.
There's 6 of those?
That is correct. Previously we had 4, and now we've got 6.
Look at that. And then my other question was on the 2 shade structures. I know the picture didn't illustrate those shade structures, could you just generally describe what they would expect?
Sure. Okay. The structures are exactly the same for both parks. It's a cantilevered structure, which means it's got 2 posts, and the 2 posts come up, and then there is a beam that goes horizontal or parallel to the ground. And both of these structures are shade structures that are tinsel fabric, and they will go over the existing bleachers at fields A3 and C3. Right. If that means anything to you, it took me a while to sort of orient myself around the parks, but.
If any other questions for Nemo? No?
Sorry.
No. Commissioner Vasquez.
Can I just ask a follow-up question about the Andrews Park thing? So sorry, is that coming back to the commission as a presentation form? The shade structures at Andrews Park?
There's nothing to bring back. Currently, what we need to sort of work through is once a year, we set sort of CIP projects for the upcoming year. And so what we can do, or what I can commit to, is when we have those discussions again for the following fiscal year, I can bring that I can bring that up so that we can add it as a CIP that we want to move forward with for the following year. But we do our best to sort of anticipate that so that staff has the availability all across the board. Even the shade structure projects for the ballparks, it's been a good deal amount of coordination. It's been Elizabeth and Jen coordinating with the leagues. It's been us pushing the plans through the building department. It's been Wallace and his team going out there and moving a scorer's table and moving a conduit that was underground. I mean, it's been a good deal amount of coordination. It seems like a small project, but it's taken a long time to sort of get to where we are. And that particular structure is much bigger. So I can't imagine that it's going to be any quicker to execute. But the good thing is that we've heard, Commissioner McMahon has brought this up a couple of times, and so we heard you. We started to do our due diligence. We've got an existing CIP account. We have some funds. It's just not enough to move forward. And so for the upcoming year, when we set the new CIP budget, we can have that discussion. And at that point, we'll bring it back to commission.
Thank you, Commissioner Vasquez, and thank you, Nemo.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
So we will move on to agenda item 12, reports of the recreation manager.
Thank you, Chair. I think, Melody, are you going to be my slide turner? Excellent. Thank you. Perfect. So while Melody pulls up the presentation, I want to say welcome back, everyone. One thing that's not in my report tonight that I would be remiss if I didn't share with you all is that, speaking of pickleball, we actually held our very first contracted pickleball lessons out at North Orchard last night. So that has been a long time coming, and I'm a little bit sad that my pickleball people aren't here to help celebrate, but that's been a long time in the making. So just wanted to share that out. And we're hosting 2 classes. One of them is actually full. So good things to come out of that. All right, Mel, let's go to the first slide. Coming up this weekend, we are hosting our annual cardboard boat regatta at the Walter Graham Aquatic Center. It'll be held from 1 to 4. This is a great family-friendly event where teams of 4 sign up. There is the option, of course, if you want to add more people to your team. Essentially, they are given cardboard, scissors, and duct tape, and they have to make a boat that hopefully makes it across the pool. So very exciting and really fun to watch. So if you guys are out and about, maybe stop by the pool this weekend. Next slide. Following weekend, August 17th, we have our major concert, Club Nouveau and Quad City DJs. It's going to be a great night out at Andrews Park. We do still have tickets available. Day of tickets are $25 per person if you want to just pay at the door. And we do still have VIP tickets available as well. So $325.
We sold out today.
We did? Woo!
Of VIP,
all right.
yeah.
That's fantastic. That's great news. Of the tables or just the individuals?
All VIP is sold out.
Okay, so y'all are just coming night up, $25. See you there. Thank you. Next slide. Later this month, on the 31st, we're hosting Fight Night at Georgie Duke Sports Center. We have around 25 bouts currently scheduled. That might change a little bit as we get closer, but we're pretty excited because we revamped our boxing program earlier this year. So we're looking at having a lot of local talent, and then of course we've got commitments from fighters from both Northern and Southern California. So should be a really cool presentation. And this event is often something that flies under the radar, so I highly encourage people to come out. It's just a very niche sport for the community, and it's really great to see just the grit and the strength that comes out when these athletes are competing. Next slide.
We've been working on some facility improvements over the last few months. So on the left, we got brand new fencing for the gymnastics center, and the final championship was actually between Cyprus and San Diego. So Southern California had very solid representation this year. We're gonna have to take it back next year. And internationally, we did have folks visit from Mexico, Nicaragua, and the Philippines. So really cool to see. Next slide. Thank you, Mel. So we did hear from Elle earlier about adaptive recreation, but I want to toot our horn just one more time. We recently hosted a karaoke night and we had 15 people come out. So that's the highest number we've had so far. And it's just really indicative of our new membership model and the consistency that we've been able to achieve with our staffing. So we're definitely seeing some success build there. And then we hosted 2 sessions of summer sensory camp already, and that was sponsored by District 4, so we appreciate that. We have 1 more session at the end of this month. The previous 2, one in June and one in July, were both full, so also seeing a lot of success there as well. Next slide. So here we move on to Arts and Culture Master Plan, which we've kind of touched on a little bit earlier in the evening about some of the things coming up, but Melody has been very busy. So if you remember, local artist Angela Arteritano was selected through a formal RFP process to spearhead a community-wide project to promote and engage our community in the city's Arts and Culture Master Plan. It's a tapestry project called Weaving Our Future, and as part of the creative process, we've been hosting public art workshops, and we have a few left coming up. I think the last one is this Saturday, but the pieces that are being made by participants, and it's mostly just the general public that we've been engaging, will be integrated into a larger tapestry, and the plan is to potentially rotate this tapestry through various city facilities so that it can have maximum exposure and be on display for everyone to see. It will ultimately land at VPAT and be featured during the September performance of Carmen, which the advertisement is on this slide, which is also a creative brainchild of Angela's. Carmen is a flamenco ballet adaptation of the famous opera scored by a live orchestra. So it's going to be a very unique production. And if you have not already had the opportunity to participate in the workshops that Melody and Angela have been hosting, like I mentioned, we do have one left this Saturday from 8 to 10. That'll be at Ridgeview Park, or if you have a few minutes after the meeting, we might be able to set you up with a to-go kit, maybe, word on the street. At any rate, this whole project will be a remarkable piece that truly reflects the creativity, culture, and vision of the Vacaville community. So really looking forward to seeing all of this come to fruition and culmination with the Carmen production in September. Next slide. We also have 3 new public art pieces. The first one on the left is called Browns Valley, and it's by Jessica Bergler. The second one is Deep Roots by Pete Falla, and the third one is called Old Tree, New Poppies by Steve Hartley. So exciting to see some new pieces coming into the collection. And then finally, also touched on, pun intended, earlier this evening, the Touch the Sky installation that happened in July. So this new sculpture, which is on rotation, and as Interim Director Megar Smith mentioned, it will be in downtown Vacaville for just about a year, through about June 2025. The city collaborated with the Downtown Vacaville Business Improvement District to obtain the traveling piece from the sculptor Martin Taylor. And Taylor describes his art as metal origami, and Touch the Sky is a visual metaphor for taking leaps of faith to achieve our dreams and fly. The rock serves as a platform for people to sit and congregate. And this statue, although you can't see it in this photo, it does light up at night and is a beacon of creativity for downtown. So something pretty cool to bring into our community. And fun facts, it's 16 feet tall and weighs 2,800 plus pounds. So she's not going anywhere. And that, I believe, concludes my presentation. So Melody and I can take questions about art or anything else you might have.
Ladies, any questions from the commission? Commissioner Bruman.
Yes, I also want to make note that, especially Public Works over there, they get a little data boy, the lighting underneath the Welcome to Vacaville downtown. That looks really nice in that. So, and it just added a lot more down. So when the heart goes down at the other end of Main Street, it's going to really put it all together.
You, Commissioner Bruman. We will move on to agenda item 13A. Interim Director Megar Smith will provide us with department updates.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a couple updates after hearing all the great things that happened over the summer from Elizabeth. The updates I have are staffing related. I am pleased to report that we are now almost fully staffed with the addition of 2 new recreation supervisors. Last month, Christina Santoyo started, and she will supervise our park rangers, front counters, and our registration system. So we are so happy that she's here. And then by the end of this month, we have Courtney Collier starting, and she will supervise youth services, special events, cultural arts, active aging, and our special interest classes. So we're excited to have her start soon too. And then probably even more exciting, the last position we have to fill is our director position. It will actually open up tomorrow. And the city's public relations department, which is amazing, they have created a really awesome recruitment video, and Corey is about to play that for you all
Welcome
tonight.
to Vacaville, nestled in Northern California,
Corey, can you turn the
directly in
volume
between
up?
Sacramento and San Francisco. Known for its affordability in the Bay Area, a diverse population of over 100,000 residents, and 27 square miles of scenic rolling hillsides, Vacaville beckons with a unique blend of growth and community spirit. Not only does Vacaville continue to grow, but it's brimming with unique and exciting opportunities. As a member of the city's executive team, our Parks and Recreation Director will get to swim in all of it. They will oversee all aspects of park planning and design, implement a new arts and culture master plan, develop a funding strategy for a new multi-use recreation facility, and guide the expansion of programs and incredibly vibrant city events like VacaCon, Dia de los Muertos, and Merriment on Main. A crucial leader in shaping the future of our community's landscape, the director will have a passion for fostering teamwork and cross-department collaboration, understand the importance of customer service, and have a deep commitment to driving innovative solutions that enhance the quality of life for all our residents. Just around the corner from the beach, the Redwoods, Wine Country, and Lake Tahoe, Vacaville is where it's happening. We're a fast-growing biomanufacturing hub and hands down one of California's most desirable communities and hidden gems. Vacaville offers unparalleled quality of life. Join us and take part of this exciting journey to enhance our community.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great, really happy with the video. It's fast-paced, it's high energy, just like the job. So he'll be open through, I think, September 16th. It'll go out tomorrow with the recruitment, and we're hoping to get a lot of great, I'm sure we'll get a lot of great applicants because it's a great position in a great city with a fantastic team. So feel free to share it. All I have tonight for you.
Any commissioner questions? Seeing none, so we'll move on to item 14, appointments. So it looks like we have a number of 4 different appointments to make. Pull up a little summary sheet there, I think. So starting off with agenda item 14A, appointment for up to 2 commissioners to serve on an ad hoc subcommittee to review applications and interview candidates for the Arts Advisory Committee. I think that's relatively straightforward. You have any comments?
It's up to you, Chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll open it up to the commission. Are there any nominations or anybody like to just sort of speak on this particular committee?
I've participated in the panel.
Let me first I'll start with Commissioner McMahon.
Thank you. Yes, I would like to volunteer for this committee. I think I've sat on it in years past, and I would enjoy doing it again.
Commissioner Gutierrez, or Vice Chair Gutierrez.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm happy to be a backup. I've done it in the past as well. It's really fun and interesting to do, but happy to step aside if anybody else wants to participate.
Commissioner Vasquez.
Do we have a timeline? Like, do we know when we anticipate interviews? Have applications were opened already, right? I think. I thought I saw.
Melody has the answer.
I thought I saw.
We do have about 20 plus, so it will be a bit of a time commitment. I don't know that we'll be able to interview everyone because we're still narrowing down, who meets eligibility requirements, like residency, things like that. But it will be based around the panelist schedule.
Great. That's great.
I think 2 years ago, the vice chair and myself sat on that and did that, served on that selection committee. So I'll be looking for, so we have Commissioner McMahon. Is there anybody else that would be interested to serve on that committee?
Are we thinking timeline like September, October, or sooner? I guess I can throw my name in the ring for it. If it doesn't sound like anyone else is stepping in to offer.
Great. Well, thank you, Commissioner Vasquez. So we have Commissioner McMahon and Commissioner Vasquez, I think, that have accepted and are nominated for the ad hoc subcommittee to review applications to interview candidates for the Arts Advisory Committee. Can I have a motion to appoint both of them? Second. So I have a motion from Commissioner Shea and a second from Commissioner Frazier. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you to Commissioner Vasquez and Commissioner McMahon for stepping forward. All right, so moving on to the next one. Item 14B, appointment of 3 commissioners to serve on the Facility Naming Committee. So there's still work to be done. Vice Chair Gutierrez.
I'm sorry. Sure. Is it an additional 3 or replacing the existing 3?
Replacing.
I think.
Replacing.
I'm sure it's replacing, yes. Commissioner Vasquez, Fraser.
Yeah, I don't mind helping out with that. So you can put
Great. Commissioner Frazier. Commissioner McMahon.
Thank you, Chair. I know recently there was the existing group, the current group, put a lot of time and effort into naming parks and facilities. What is the commitment looking forward as we move forward?
I think initially when we first met with the facility name committee, there were like 2 groups of facilities that need to be named. I think the second group probably had just about the same, probably like 7 facilities. So we met a total, I believe, of 3 times in the span of 4 months.
I think the biggest time commitment was just the final meeting, and because we had 8 facilities to name, and some commissioners were more difficult than others and just didn't listen to the opinion of the. Did I say that? No, but I think so. That was pretty much the biggest time commitment. I think it was just wrestling through all of those names that I think resulted in some great names. So. Commissioner Bruman.
Yeah, I'll throw my hat in there if no one else volunteers. Now that Mary's somewhere else. No, I'm just joking. No, Mary made it very interesting and actually helped us work a little harder to pick the names that fit. And she came in with a lot of information, so it makes it hard. So yeah, the more the info you know about things, the better. But yeah, I'll stay on. I'll get back in there.
I would also say staff did just a remarkable job keeping it, making it very efficient for all of us. So it was just really, we were ultimately just making a lot of decisions, a lot of deliberation on the names. So thank you, Tracy. We have Vice Chair Gutierrez.
I'll also volunteer to participate in that committee.
Great. So if I have it correct, we have Vice Chair Gutierrez, Commissioner Bruman, and Commissioner Frazier have agreed to be nominated and are nominated for the Facility Naming Committee. May I have a motion to appoint the 3 of them to that committee?
Motion.
So a motion from Commissioner McMahon, a second from Commissioner Vasquez. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carries. Thank you to the 3 of you. I think you'll find that to be an enjoyable committee. Moving on to appointment of 1 commissioner to serve on the Play for All Parks Committee. At this time, I'd like to open it up to nominations. Any comments? Commissioner Shea.
I'll comment just to share time commitment. It's monthly on a Monday, second Monday of the month, to attend meetings. But I will, just in full transparency, say that Tom, who is chair of the board, tends to really rope you in and get you to work. So while it may only be once a month, you get voluntold to do a lot of other stuff. But I do want to give other people the opportunity to serve on their subcommittee, because it is a fantastic project and it is really serving the special needs community. And if you come on the subcommittee, you can help me with all the decorations that I'm committed to, whether I'm on the subcommittee or not, for the upcoming fundraiser. So you've already got work to do. Right? No, it's fun.
So are there any other commissioners interested in serving on the Play for All committee? And if I heard you correctly, if there's absence of interest, you would continue?
Yes, yes.
I'm locked into work there anyway, so it makes sense. But I do want to give other people the opportunity because it's a great group of people. They're doing really good work. And it's ongoing, so the need is always there. They've got a lot of work still ahead of them.
Any other comments or expressions of interest or nominations from the commission? Hearing none, is there a motion to promote, to appoint Commissioner Shea to the Play for All Parks Committee? Great. Let's see, that was a motion by Commissioner McMahon and a second by Commissioner Bruman. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Great. You're going to do a wonderful job. They're the perfect commissioner for the role, and so you've done great work so far. So look forward to continued commitment. So moving on, next is one appointment to serve on the Vacaville Performing Arts Theater Show Selection Committee. Are there any interest or nominations for this committee? Vice Chair Gutierrez.
Yes. Chair Oz, can you share what the time commitment has looked like for this?
Yes, I think it's a really interesting committee to serve on. We have, through the course of the year, we've held probably an average of 5 meetings that last about just a half hour over Zoom. And we typically have held them about 3 p.m.
Monthly.
Monthly. So I'm happy to stay on, but certainly would be just as happy to step down and offer this this opportunity to serve on a great committee as well. So please know that. Any interest or nominations?
Is there anybody not signed up for anything yet?
That's true.
Except us. Yeah.
Commissioner McMahon.
Yes, I was just looking at the list and I think it's great. Everybody's name is appointed to a committee except for Chair Oz. So I would like to nominate Chair Oz for the VPAT selection
Getting
committee.
out that easy.
I will proudly accept that nomination. So seeing no other comments from the commission, is there a motion to nominate the chair to the Vacaville Performing Arts Theater Show Selection Committee?
I'll make a motion.
So motion by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations to the chair. All right. Let's see, we'll move on to reports of the commissioners. Commissioner Raymond, would you start us off tonight?
Very much. Just again, thank you for all that you do, the staff. You continue to do great things all summer. As we draw down Creek Walk, it looks like it's been another successful season. And here we are getting ready to talk about the upcoming season. So we're in the planning phases for that here shortly. So thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Great. Commissioner Shea.
I know that all of the parents out there are school clothes shopping and school supply shopping, and we're really close to the start of the school year and in those twilight hours of summer. So good luck to everybody starting their new school year and looking forward to all the stuff that you guys have planned. It seems like every time we're up here, we're hearing about new programs and events that you guys have implemented. So I'm excited to see what fall has to bring.
Commissioner Shea, Commissioner Frazier.
Just because I happen to be out at the pool a lot, the pool's still pretty busy, and the water slides are working, and so I know finally, and so summer's not over yet. There's still all kinds of lessons and all kinds of great things to do out there, so yeah.
Commissioner Frazier, Commissioner Vasquez.
Yeah, it's been a really busy summer and lots to do around town, and just appreciative of, you know, the community that we live in and the space and the activities that we're able to have in town and participate in. I can't believe that we're starting school already pretty soon. So I just, yeah, good luck to everybody starting school soon. I was sad to miss June's Parks and Rec Commission meeting, so I apologize. It was a blank diet, a bare dais in June, but just thankful to the 4 of you who were here and who approved the Centennial Bike conceptual plan. I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to meet a really cool need in Vacaville, and just looking forward to seeing that move into motion, literally. And yeah, we've heard a lot about the Pony 9U International World Series. My husband was able to get my son out to at least one game, and then we streamed a few, which was a really great option. So if you ever are thinking about it next season, so Vacaville Pony is committed to hosting the tournament for 3 years. So next year will be their last year. You can always stream them. They are amazing. Like, these little 9-year-olds are friggin' amazing. Like, they're such good baseball players. So if you like good baseball, I would strongly encourage you to either make it out next year or stream the games. They were great. And Vacaville Pony did an amazing job in promoting the event on their Facebook page, and just really trying to get the word out there and getting volunteers. Keating looked great. It probably looks the best that it's looked since the 80s. If you ever were out there in the 80s, sorry. But it looks great. And so, you know, congratulations to all the teams that played. But yes, it was 2 California teams that were in the championship game, and Cypress won. Hopefully Vacaville next year can get into that championship game and take the tournament. And with that, yeah, just I hope everyone has a great rest of their summer, and looking forward, I guess, to a new school year. See you all in September.
Thank you, Commissioner Vasquez. Commissioner Bruman.
Yeah, yes, again, the staff is always amazing. There's so many things. That young lady, Elle, she felt like she was a veteran at it already, so she's a great add-on. You guys are doing fantastic things. Also, just to mimic more on the pony, Jason Case, the president, he is ecstatic how the whole field looked, and he was very happy. I've known him for a long time. The other thing, I think there's a happy birthday to be said to, I think, Commissioner McMahon. It's his birthday today. Oh. And I just want to wish you a happy birthday, sir. You're welcome.
No place else I'd rather be.
See Vice Chair Gutierrez.
Yes, this was a long break. I also missed the June meeting, and then we were on break in July. So happy to be back and happy to hear all the updates. And I will, the same thing what Commissioner Bruman shared. I felt like Elle had been here for a while, and she's only been here 6 months, or at least in this role. So that was exciting, and she handled herself like a champ. So please let her know that we said that. I also want to express my condolences. We lost 2, law enforcement officers to not only those families, but also the city. As tragic as it was also amazing to see the community come together. And I think that's what keeps us involved, just seeing the community rally behind and really just, love one another. And that was amazing to see, although it was a very tragic event. So just again, wanted to express my condolences. But on a happier note, happy birthday to Commissioner McMahon. And yeah, school starts next week. And yeah, everyone take care of yourselves.
Thank you. And I would also like to wish Commissioner McMahon happy birthday. That's great. I just had one thought as I was reviewing the agenda for this evening, and I think it was commented on in our agenda review on Monday that the agenda was actually a little bit light compared to other meetings. But after just hearing all of the park projects that we have going on and all of the maintenance work and all of the great programs, and it just amazes me how this staff just continues to grind out program after program after event after event, and add project after project. And so thank you for all the great work you do. It's certainly noticed here at before the commission. So I will there being no further business, I will adjourn to our next regular meeting on Wednesday, September 4th at 6 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and good night, Vacaville.
Bring that gavel with authority.